Okay, here we go. Now, again, we left off at 29, so I feel like 31 would be a great start. All right. And again, I just think this is a really good question. When is the absolute value of x greater than x minus 1? Always. Now look, this is a math problem and it's just a thinking problem. All right, first of all, we look at it just without the absolute value. When is x greater than x minus 1? Always, right? But because the absolute value, we want to kind of double check our thought process, right? So if x were negative, then the right side would be what? But the left side would be, does everybody agree with that? That's why we can confidently say without doing any work that it's all real numbers. Right? Really, really great question. All right. And if you're not seeing it, I would like for you to tell me you're not seeing it. I can explain it or I can say it again. Tell me.
All right, I'm sorry. So it's all real numbers. Why wouldn't it be like the no solution? What's the difference between no solution and all real numbers?
Remember, no solutions mean it will never work.
All right, and all real numbers means it will always work?
Yes. Right. So if we change this to less than. Right. Because the left side, right, x can't be less than itself minus 1. Right. You with me?
Yeah.
And if you plug negatives in, the left side or the right side will be negative, but the right or the left side will be positive and the right side will be negative. Do you agree with that? Does that make sense now? All right, good, go.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you, I promise. Let me just go through some of them. All right, and then I'm gonna get to a point where I'm just gonna say, okay, there's no way I can get through all of them. I want to hear what you have to say. All right, but I want to get through just a majority of sample of all of them. All right, so is everybody happy with that? 31. All right, that's a nice little problem. All right, now 32. These are kind of the SAT type questions, all right, that I think are extremely important. All right, especially ERBs coming up. So find the value of k so that the equation below has the solution x equals -3. All right, so if x equals -3, we just plug what? We just plug -3 in for x. That's all we're doing. All right. So this is 3 times, and then that would be what? Can we just say -7? All right. I like to do the work when I can do the work. Equals -3 times 2 minus k. Do you agree with that? And now instead of distributing the -3, I might as well just do what? Divide it, so that would be 7 equals 2 minus k. So k equals what? Is that right?
Where is like the division? I mean the like negative sign for the 7 and the 3 go.
I divided by -3. Right? So does everybody agree k equals -5?
So it's -1 times -7.
All right, here's what I want in your brain to say. 3 times -7 divided by -3. You see what I'm saying, right? So the 2 negatives make a positive and the 3's cancel out, right? And this is what I'm really hoping when you leave here, you're better with numbers. All right, I'm not multiplying 3 times 7 and then dividing it by 3. All right, that's what I'm trying to show you. Does that make sense now? All right, so let's do 35 real quick. If 2x minus 6 is an even integer, what is the next consecutive even integer? Who's going to tell me? What is it? C, right? To get to the next even integer, you just do what? Add 2. So all you do is add 2. All right, that's another really good ERB question. 37, the radius of a circle is tripled, then what would happen to the area? Yeah, 9 times greater. We covered that a bunch. 9 times. All right, let's look at 39. If x is less than 0, which of the following is negative? What does x being less than 0 mean? That it's negative. X being less than 0 means it's negative. So which one of these is negative? C, good. That's another good ERB question. Yeah, let's just, because I enjoy these. Look at 40 for a quick second. I'm not understanding why that was hard, but for some reason that's hard for kids. What is it? Right. A is 2, B is 3. The question is, what is 3 squared? What?
I have a question back on 35.
Well, it's a little late now.
I was very confused.
What?
Why couldn't it also be D, 2x minus 8?
Because that would be the one before.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Right? The +2 means it's the next one. The -2 means the one before that. Go.
Also on that one, so can't, for odd numbers, would it go the other way and just do +1?
No, remember, adding, eventually you will learn that odd numbers are defined as 2n minus 1, and evens are just 2n,
Okay.
right? Where n are counting numbers. So if I did 1, 2 times 1 minus 1 is 1. 2 times 2, right? But right now, we're just saying if I give you even numbers, to get to the next even, I add 2. If I had odds, to get to the next odd, I also have to what? Add 2. All right. So when they give you this statement right here, they're assuming that we're starting with a what? Even. All right. All right. So let's continue on. 41. The average of 8, 6, 9, 12, and 4 x.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, no.
Is 4 included in that number?
Yeah, this might be a typo. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can figure this out. The average of, oh, no. The average of 8, 6, 9, 12, 4.
It's 4x.
I don't think X is included. Or is it X and 4?
No, it's in 4x. It's
So let's just try it both ways. So if I'm averaging this, yeah, I'm going to go with that. Let's see. What's 8 plus 6 plus 9 plus 12? Plus 4x divided by 5 equals x. Yeah, that's right. So then x is what? X is 35. Did everybody see that? I don't know why I typed that in that way. The x should be closer to the 4. Is everybody okay with that or not? Yes, read.
Can you explain this one a little bit more?
Yeah. So remember, average is just adding them up, right? So I'm adding these up, and there are how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So people told me 8 plus 6 plus 9 plus 12 is 35. So 35 plus 4x divided by 5 is x. Do you agree with that now? All right. You're adding up the 5 numbers. You're adding up the 5 numbers. And you're right. I probably should put parentheses here. All right. Or put the 4 in italics or whatever. All right. Anybody have any issues with that? Multiply both sides by 5. Come on. 35 plus 4x equals 5x. Right? Harris?
Oh, yeah.
You good with that or not?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Oh, 42 is another great problem.
What does it ask for? Oh,
What's the shortest distance from A to D? Did anybody get this one?
Got 9.
Somebody said 9. 9 point something. Good. Exact, right? 9 point something. I like that. Exact answer. Somebody said what?
I got 8.
All right. So how do I do this? Who's telling me, who's going to tell me how to do it? This one's a really great question. Tell me.
Okay, so you have the 3 and then going up, it gets split in half, so.
How do we know that? AB is 3. And then it says BC is 5, right? And CD is 5. I'm not sure I agree with that. How do I know it's right in the middle?
Wait, no, it wouldn't be in the middle because
It's definitely not. You're right.
I think it's 7. It's 5.
Maybe it looks like it. What's CB again? 5. Right. So this is also 5. Right. So this is 5 right here. I really thought this was an interesting question. Come on, someone tell me. Go.
Oh, wait, no, I see what I did wrong.
It's gotta be the perpendicular.
Come on. This is a really good ERB question. You're guessing what?
It's 7. Just by looking at it.
No, it's not 7.
Now, remember, I told you sometimes you're going to have to draw things. Tell me. Yeah, you absolutely can. But how do you do that?
Well, you can just draw the right triangle.
What?
Oh, wait, yeah.
Which one? A new one?
What?
A new one?
5, 8,
Yeah,
What do you want me to draw?
so like a straight line down from D and a straight line from B.
Look how easy that
And
is.
then you know the bottom line is 8. And then
Yay, there you go. That's the key right there.
and the height is 5.
There you go. Nice, right? Very simple. Very, very simple. But you see, kids don't think outside the box, right? So they're always trying to make up their own little rules, right? Extend lines. All right. So if I had to find the exact, that would be 8 squared plus 5 squared equals AD squared. So what is that? 89 square root. Says the exact. All right, says the exact. So we leave it as a radical. All right, that's a really good problem. All right. So 43. Someone tell me that answer. Anybody? 4 to 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if I need to do this, are we including 4? So anything from 4 to 9 is what they're saying.
I got 8 to 18.
8 to 18.
I got.
I'm listening. Come on.
I didn't get it.
All right. Anybody else want to give it a shot? All right, here we go. Pam is building a fence around a rectangular garden. She wants the perimeter to be between 20 and 30. The width of the plot is 6 meters. What are the possible values? Come on now. I'm not sure why this was a problem for some of you. Draw a rectangle,
I think it's 4.
right? And it says that the width has to be what? 6. So this is 6 and that's 6. So I've used what so far? 12. Right? So if I want the perimeter between 20 and 30, right? That means that the length plus the width has to be between what? Has to be between what? No, you're not listening. If the perimeter is
20 and 30.
If the perimeter is between 20 and 30, the length and width have to be between,
10 and 15.
thank you, between 10 and 15. Right? Now, look, these are the kinds of things that I think just separate you guys if you're thinking properly. Right? Does everybody understand why the length and width have to equal Be between 10 and 15, right? Say it again.
Why is it not 17?
Why do you want it to be 17?
It's like,
Do you agree? Listen, do you agree that
oh, yeah, I get it, yeah.
the length plus width times 2 is the perimeter,
Okay, yeah.
right? Okay, so now we've established that the width is what? The width is 6. So now it's just L plus 6, right? We want to be somewhere between 10 and what? So it could be, the length could be anything between 4 and anything between 4 and 9. That's a really good question. All right, everybody happy with that? All right, let's check out 45. A television with a price of $300 is to be purchased with initial payment of $60 and weekly payments for $30. Which of the following equations can be used to find the number of weekly payments W required to complete the purchase, assuming there is no taxes or fees? Anybody? Anybody need help with that? Yes, sir.
I didn't really get that.
So you have to pay $300 for the TV, right? You put how much down for the TV? 60. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And now you're making what? $30 payments. That's good now, right? All right. That's a good one too. All right, 47. We want to know what's 3x minus 2. A. Let me show you something, guys. Look up on the board. All right, this is a really cool problem, actually. All right, please watch. All right, for those of you guys who want to be good with numbers, I can look at that and say that's -4. You should be able to look at that and just say, well, the answer is -4. All right, so when you're taking a standardized test, a lot of times when they ask about 3x minus 2, that's in there somewhere. All right, the 3x minus 2 is in there somewhere. All right, so now please watch, see if you're agreeing. Does everybody see this is 9x minus 6? Does everybody agree with that? Over here, there is what? So what's 1 minus 2/3? So this and this is -4 is equal to 1/3 of 9x minus 6. Everybody see that? If you don't see that, just tell me. Let me show you. 9x minus 6. 9x minus 6 minus 2/3 9x minus 6. What's 1 minus 2/3? Right. Do you see that yet? Right. So if I have 9x minus 6 and I subtract 2/3 of 9x minus 6, I'm left with what? Now, what's 1/3 of 9? What's 1/3 of -6? 3x minus 2 equals -4. Isn't that annoying? Right, that's really annoying. All right, if you learn to do that on standardized tests, what I always tell kids is that will allow you to have more time on the harder stuff. All right, that's a waste of time to solve for x there, actually. All right, is everybody agreeing with me on that? All right, that's a really good problem. All right, here we go. Let's look at 49. This is another really nice problem, a good review for your absolute values. Did anybody get 49? Somebody said 7. Somebody said what? I don't think plus or minus, because it's asking for the absolute value, right? You see what I'm saying? So somebody just said 5. I've got a 5 and a 7. Anybody else?
I got 3.
3, good. All right, now remember, to solve an absolute value, do you agree A and B are the solutions, right? If A and B are the solutions, to solve an absolute value, this is directly related to chapter 1. 2x plus 1 equals 5. 2x plus 1 equals -5. 2x equals 4, x equals 2, 2x equals -6, x equals -3.
Oh, I'm achieving so much.
You are. All right. So 2 minus -3, 5. Absolute value of 5 is what? 5. And if you do the other way, -3 minus 2 is -5. Absolute value of -5 is still 5. So the answer is 5. Yes, sir.
48.
Yeah, I said I'm going to go back to what you guys want. All right. I want to knock out the odds just to make sure I've covered a little bit of everything. All right. Now, ooh, this one's a really good one. 50, 51 are related. So, man, this is a great science question. So let's see how you did with all your, don't you guys say like stoichiometry or something like that?
Yeah, we're taking this break now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So again, in order to do this problem, though, you have to do 50 before you do 51. All right. So let's, man, I really like that problem. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do 50. So you can get out your calculator. All right. Did anybody do 50 and 51?
I try.
Tried them. Good. All right. Here we go. All right. So here we go. Again, it says the peregrine falcon can reach speeds of up to 200 miles per hour while diving to catch prey, making it the fastest animal on planet when in a dive. All right. So they want to know the peregrine's maximum speed in what? Feet per second. Now, I'm going to give you my method of doing this, and then there's your science method of doing it. I just think it's not that difficult. All right. So right now I can go what? 200 miles every what? Every 1 hour. Now, please think about my thought process. And I'm trying to go what? Feet per second, correct? Now, again, I don't necessarily, I agree with how you guys in science, you set it up and then you put units opposite each other and you do all that kind of fancy stuff. But for me, I just know that 1 mile is what? 5,280 feet. So I just replaced mile with what? 5,280 feet. So 200 times 5,280 what? Feet. 1 hour is the same as what? No. 1 hour is how many minutes? So I put 60 minutes. Does everybody see that? Wow, I'm almost there, man. Almost. All right. And then if I have 60 minutes, each minute is worth what? So I change the minute to 60 seconds. That's how my brain works. All right. And now just do 200 times 5,280. And then for those of you guys who are with me, divided by 3,600 or divided by 60, divided by 60. And somebody tell me what that is. So now it says round to the nearest whole number. Is that right? 290. So we would say 293 feet per second. Listen, if you got that last night on your own, that's really good. All right. And if you made a little mistake, I'm trying to show you how I don't understand why this is difficult for kids. I just don't understand that. I'm replacing units with what they are equal to. All right. Now, if the falcon can fly at 293 feet per second, and we want to know a half a mile, how long is it going to take us? Well, a half a mile is,
640.
yes, 2,640 feet. Does everybody agree with that? We're trying to figure out how many seconds it's going to take him. So then we just divide by what? And why do we divide by 293? Because that's how fast he's going. And it says, round your answer to the nearest second. The correct answer, 9. Correct answer was 9. All right. So again, very, very good question. Very good question. All right. Anybody have any issues? Yes.
On the first question, I got 2,000.
I know, because you did this 200 times 5,280 divided by 60 times 60, probably. No? What did you do then?
I did 200, well, I kind of did that, 200 times 5,280. And then I divided that answer by 2.
3,600.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. All right. Not a big deal. Anybody have any issues? That's a, like I said, that's a really good algebra problem. And believe it or not, that's right. Those are the 2 hardest questions on the SAT, believe it or not. So if you got those right, you got the SAT whipped. All right. Easy, easy, easy. All right. So here we go. 53 is, I agree with you, is embarrassing. What is it? Yeah. Don't, hey, just because you got it wrong now, don't feel bad about yourself. All right.
No, it's A. I got
It's E. I got it.
Oh, wait, no, my VA.
All right, here we go. Anybody have any issues with 53 besides
I got D.
what?
I didn't get D.
I believe you. All right, here we go. 55. Again, what is H?
The depth of the object submerged.
No. Yeah. Now look, at this stage of the game, one more time, listen, please. All right. Because I still have some work to do. All right. I really am hoping everybody can look at that and say, I'm solving for H. There's no work involved. For whatever reason, this is difficult. You're solving for H, P minus P sub O divided by PG equals H. That's it. Everybody should be able to do that. Anybody have any issues with that? Anybody?
Wait, could you, just, why
Shh.
couldn't you just divide
By
PO
what?
plus PG?
Because the PG is attached with multiplication to the H,
Oh,
not the O,
okay.
P sub O.
57.
Okay. Now, listen, here is what I need. All right. Now, I said I would give you some time, and I appreciate those of you guys who did some work. So now you're going to ask me direct questions about the even ones if you need to. Tell me. Let's look at 26. All right. Now on 26, this is a really nice question because it was just remembering that when you're solving this, you're adding 20, not just to one side, but to what? Both sides. All right. So this became -8 is less than or equal to 3y, which is less than or equal to 72. Yes, I got you.
I think it's just less than.
Yes. All right. Now we're dividing by what?
3.
Now we're dividing by 3, which just means y is somewhere between 24 and 4. So if you had to do that on the number line, you would say 4, you would say 24, open circle, closed circle, and everything in between. If you did interval notation, you would say 4 bracket, comma, 24 parentheses. Everybody okay with that? Good review. Anybody have any issues with why it's a bracket or why it's open or why it's closed or why it's a parentheses? Simon, you good on this now? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So I just was having some trouble with the percent.
I just want to know what problem.
So 36.
All right, 36. Let's take a look quickly at 36. Okay, now for us, this is just an algebra problem. 9 is in math means equal. 18% is 0.18 times x. So 9 divided by 0.18 is your number. You agree with that? Anybody else on that? Somebody else? What? Let's look at 12 real quick. All right. Now, again, if I'm solving for V, this is what I was talking about. I think this is a one step for you. All right, I'm solving for V, so we underline the V. H plus GT squared divided by T equals V. Shh, 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 shh. Just look at the board. All right, look and see. I'm solving for V. If I'm solving for V, I'm moving this. If I move that over, it becomes a positive. All right. William, is that good now? You see what I'm saying? It's just basic. What?
48.
All right, we'll take a look at 48. All right, here we go.
I got C equals square root of B.
Okay, yeah, 48 is always on the SATs. Infinitely many solutions. If something has infinitely many solutions, that means it's an identity. So what's on the right is exactly what's on the left. So what does A have to be? A is 0? A has to be what? A has to be 4. Right, I just said the right side must be the same as the left side. Does everybody agree with that? So A must be 4. Because if I put a 4 there, that will allow me to get 4x plus 4b equals 4x plus 10. So what does B have to be? Yes, 2.5 or 5 over 2. All right, that's a good question. Good question. Olivia, what? All right, let's knock out 32. There are 25 coins that are what? Nickels and dimes. Do you agree? So nickels plus dimes equal 25. Do you agree? Now, if the value is at least $1.44, right? So that means 0.05 times N plus 0.1 D has to be at least $1.44, which means what? It has to be greater than or equal to $1.44. Do you agree with that? Now, here, if you want, you can do kind of like a substitution here. You can say that we want dimes, right? So I want to replace the nickels with the dimes. Do you agree? So now 0.05 times 25 minus D plus 0.1 D has to be greater than or equal to $1.44. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
And now, Can we just solve that out, right? Now, to me, if we don't want to mess around with the decimals, it's just 5 times 25 minus D plus 10D is greater than or equal to 144. Do you agree? 125 minus 5D plus 10D. So that's 5D, right? Is greater than or equal to, what is that? 19? Is that right? So D has to be greater than or equal to, wow, 19 divided by 5, which is what, 3.8? Can we have 3.8 dimes? No, I don't think we can have 3.8 dimes. So we would need at least what? We need at least 4 dimes. Does everybody agree? 4 dimes. Now, is there another way to do it? Yeah, you could just start with the lowest number. If they have to add up to 25, you can do what? You can do 0 nickels and 25 dimes. Would that work? Yeah, because that would be $2.50. But we want the fewest number of dimes, right? Yeah. All right. But again, that's the math. All right. Let's go, guys. Someone else. We got some time here. Yes, ma'am. 30? All right, let's look at it. Very good problem here. All right. So again, absolute value inequality. We have 3b plus 5. You write it exactly the way you see it, and then you rewrite it. 3b plus 5 is greater than or equal to negative b plus 2. Do you see that? Right? Switch and negate. So now it looks to me like 2b is less than or equal to negative 7.
Yeah, I didn't realize that B minus 2 switched to B plus 2.
All right, as long as we're good now. All right, and we'll just knock it out. 4b is greater than or equal to, is that negative 3? So b is greater than or equal to negative 3/4. So if you're less than negative 7/2 and greater than negative 3/4, that means you're going from negative infinity to negative 7/2. And also from negative 3/4 to infinity. I think that's right. Everybody good? That was pretty tricky. Yes.
Could you do 18?
Oh boy. I made a mistake on this one.
Yeah.
This is a great problem. It's a great problem. So look up. So now, man, all right, 30 is really challenging. All right, the reason why 30 is challenging is because I didn't take into consideration that this is always what? Yeah, that's always positive. No, wait a minute now. Yeah, let me just think about it for a second. So here's what we want to do just to check my work. All right, this is a good time to look at your calculator. Go to your calculator. I don't have my calculator here. Oh, let someone borrow it. So you guys try to listen to me now. All right, we go to y equals. Now, what I want to do here is I want everybody to hit math. Then I want you to go over to number. Does everybody see absolute value? Right? So hit absolute value. Then you type in 3x plus 5. Then you go outside the absolute value. All right. Now, believe it or not, there's an inequality button on your calculator. All right. And my mind is escaping me. So it is the second, and it is test for some reason. I don't know why. But second, and then test. And there's the inequalities. All right. And the test is right under the alpha. Does everybody see that?
Yes. I see
So,
that.
and then do you see it? Then type in the inequality that we used. And then type in x minus 2. And now let's see if I'm right. Graph that. Now what I want you to do, yes, it is supposed to be on the number line. Now, if your graph isn't coming up properly, go to Zoom standard, remember? Zoom standard. All right, Zoom standard. And is it coming up?
It's just like a straight line on the end.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I want to do now is I want to change the window so the y max is not 10. I want -1 and 1. Wow, see, they're saying that it's all real numbers. They're telling me that it's all reals. So let me see if that's true. Man. So this up here for number 30, listen just for a second. 30 is always positive. Does everybody agree with that? Everybody with me?
Yeah.
So now this is negative. B minus 2 is negative when B is less than 2. Wow, that's really tricky. I didn't realize that was too hard. All right. So because B is negative when it's less than 2, that means that the only thing we have to check now is for when B is greater than 2. Right? Because why? Because if it's negative, right, this over here is always going to be greater. It's never going to be less than a negative. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? All right. This over here, whenever B is less than 2, is going to be, the right side is going to be negative. All right. So the left side is going to be positive. And a positive is always what? Greater than a negative. All right. So now I'm just checking for, yeah, I'm going to run out of time here, guys. I'm going to come up with the answer tomorrow for you and do a better job explaining it. But again, I don't want you to worry about that. That's way harder than what I anticipated. All right. Way harder. All right. Now we just have a couple minutes. So does anybody have one last thing they want to look at? Who asked me about number 30? That was really good. Whoever did. Thank you. 30 was hard. Too hard, actually. Tell me. Let's look at 18 real quick. Oh, this is just good math, right? Now, -36 minus 2w minus 154 is greater than -8w minus 208. 6w is greater than what? Is that what it was? -18?
6W is greater than -18.
Yeah, that was your mistake then. So then it's just, W is greater than, yeah, -3. So it'd be -3/infinity. Yes, sir, Bo.
Number 8.
Last one, number 8. The bell's getting ready to ring. Yeah, the volume. Remember, volume is just pi r squared times h. So pi times 2x minus 3 squared times 3x minus 4. Yeah, this one's kind of annoying. All right. And this was an SAT problem also, I believe. So now you have to square this. So that squared is 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 times 3x minus 4.
Okay, that's why I was wondering if I had to do that.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, go ahead and do that. All right. That's just practice there. with the multiplication. All right, guys, good job. All right, and I just have to look over number 30. All right.